All right, let's get started. Let me share my screen. Cool. So before we start, any questions you have? Last day we discussed about the variables. Did you get a chance to go to the Appian community and look it for, or if you have your practice environment, did you try? Any question if you have regarding this local variable to us? Anyone? No? Cool. All right. So today we are going to talk about the data model. Any application we create, right? The first thing is to be creating, defining the personas, and then creating the data model is very important, because data model is going to be your backbone of your application. If your data model is correct, your application, you don't have to modify multiple times, right? Changes on your data. So make sure any application you are going to design, or any part of your application, or any requirement you are performing, if you had to design a data model, make sure your data model is correct. If your data model will be correct, your flow and everything, you will be able to capture a proper information, and you will be able to perform your in a best way. So data model is very important, right? So in our application customer onboarding process, what is the first data model comes into your mind? When I say data model, it could be a table, right? So it's a table. So basically, what do you think? Which table is important for us? Many of you are here as are experienced persons, so you know how the requirements comes to you, right? To design application, or design the, develop the requirement. So what is the first thing you think is required if you talk about our application? Come on, guys. Not a big tough question.
All the requirements, all the information of the customer data.
Customer data, right? Okay. So what do you think? What are the information is required for a customer that we need to capture?
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Now, I was simply asking, like, if you talk about our particular application, customer onboarding process. So what is the first data model, first table we may require?
Customer details.
Customer details information is required, so that we should know, the customer that is visiting to us, and we need to onboard them. We need to have a table called customer details, where we can capture their information, right? So how do we go to the customer to create a table? We navigate by using this grid icon, click, and then go to the cloud database. If you have already some other database, you need to create the table there. We can simply add that particular table with your Appian. So we can do that very easily. So we are going to create a new table. So I just click on the new. Now, what is the table name we can put? Customer details, as we said. Now, how do we know? There could be multiple tables with the name of customer details, right? Some application may also have the customer details. So how do we differentiate with the table name?
With suffix of the prefix, we can put the application name
prefix,
and
the application prefix that we have, right? So application prefix is called COP. So I say COP underscore customer details. All right. Okay. What could be the first column? It could be the customer ID, isn't it? The customer ID will always be, the auto increment. When you select any of the column as an auto increment, that will also be get selected as a primary key. You can also select in different order, but if you select auto increment first, it will automatically mention that this particular column you want to make as a primary key also, right? So this customer ID is going to be a primary key as well as the auto increment. So we do not have to insert this value, it will be auto incremented. All right, what could field we can have? We can have first name, right? First name could be varchar. It's going to be a varchar variant character we can put, right? And then if you are providing any of the column name as a type as a varchar, you also have to provide the type length of it. So let's say we are saying that customer name could be 50 characters long, right? We can have middle name. It could be again varchar, we put 50 characters long. We can have last name. It could be varchar. Again, it's going to be 50 characters long. We need more column. Just simply click it here. Let's say I may need 4 more columns. I just click on go. So it will add 4 more columns here. What is DOB?
Customer address. Oh, yeah, DOB is fine.
Yeah. So DOB is going to have a date. If you are providing anything as a date, no need of length. We can have email. It's gonna be varchar. I'll be putting, let's say, 100 characters long. What else?
Customer address.
Address could be now the database
Yeah.
lesson come into the picture. If you put address everything here, that data table structure is going to be long. So we will create a separate table for the address,
Yeah,
and we will
that
link for the foreign
yeah,
key, right?
that is also fine. No
Now,
issue.
yeah, email. What else we can have? Mobile. It could be varchar. Let's say I'm gonna have 20 characters long. What else?
Gender.
Yeah. Let's say I'm gonna put varchar. I'm gonna say 10 characters long. And anything else is required? Let's say I want to have one more column called is active, because maybe in future the customer will not be
Logical
with us.
for
So I'll
logical
put,
deletion is required.
yeah, tiny. All right. So this is the table structure we have. We are going to put all these characters: customer ID, first name, middle name, last name, DOB, email, mobile, gender, and is active. Now, out of this one, all this value, it means if you want to make it as mandatory, you do not have to check this checkbox. Like if you say that, initially there is a possibility that user may not provide any of the value. For that field, we need to check the checkbox. If it means that there should be some value. If I check this checkbox, then all the fields can accept the null value as well. So this is what we're just giving the configuration. If you are going to check this checkbox, it means that all the fields can accept the null value. Let's see if I'm gonna remove this particular checkbox. It means that first name is mandatory. If you don't provide the first name, the database write will fail. Okay, so you can do it as according to your requirement. If it is required, you can put it. So this is the COP customer details table that we created. I can simply click on save. So it will be get created. So let me go and search it here. COP underscore customer. We got our table. All right. Got it. So we have no entry here. It's a blank table. Similar way, we can also create our address table. Let's go and create a new address table. I'll say COP underscore address. So it could have address ID. It is going to be auto increment and primary key. Now we can also have customer ID. It's going to be integer. It will not be primary key. We'll come to this one. It's going to be foreign key. Then we can have a street or let's put it as varchar. I'll put 100 characters long. We can have city. Oh, we forget to provide SSN number for the customer details. Okay, cities are again going to be varchar. I'll put 50 characters long. Let's add 2 more. Then we can have country. It's gonna be varchar. I'm gonna say characters long, and then is active. It's gonna be tiny 8. It could be. So we are saying that this initially could be null. Okay. If you don't add any customer ID, then it will fail. So I will make this null as well for now. Okay, let me go and click on save. So table is created. Now we thought, okay, COP customer details table, we thought to add one more column. So if you want to edit a column, so it's a good that we remember now. Go to the structure and say, one second. There's this, yeah. So add one more column here. You see this add one column, and where you want to add. Let's say I want to add after the last name. So I'll just select it here, the last name. So add one column after the last name. Hit go. I'll say SSN number. Okay, it's gonna be integer. I think it's 9-digit long, right? SSN 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 9 or 10 digits, guys. Maybe I don't know. Let's put 11 number digits. Okay, initially it can be null. I'll just say save. If you go to the structure now, one more field SSN number has been added here. Okay, so this is how you can also alter your table. But any question creating this table?
No.
Okay. So we know that how we can create a table. Now, table is ready. I mean, if you are using some other database, let's say if you are using your Oracle database or you are using your SQL server anywhere, you can create the table there. Once you create the tables there, we also need to integrate your third-party database with the Appian. How do we do that? If you go to the admin console, here you will see an option called database data sources. Okay, so data source, you need to click on the new data source and you have to provide the name of your data source. Let's say if you are going to say going to add your Oracle, I'll say Oracle ABCD, whatever name of your organization. You can put like Oracle ABCD. You can select from drop down, you can select Oracle. You need to provide the username and password and the connection string of your database. Once you do that, click on the test connection, it will say success, then you can click on save. So this will be now get saved. So wherever we need to select the data source, this particular option will also be available for you. Right now, only one option is available, in-house database. Okay, so this is how you can connect your data out third-party database here. It's very easy. Once you do that, it will be available forever. You don't have to do it multiple times. Okay. So once we done with the table creation, now you guys tell me what is the, I mean, a table is a structure. It is having a structure. Okay, one more thing we forget. Okay. So we created this table, right? COP address. COP address. If you go to the structure, address is a primary key. We need to make this customer ID as a foreign key, right? So how do we create a foreign key? Go to the table, go to the structure and click on the relation view. Once you click on the relation view, give the name of the constant. I'll say foreign key underscore COP customer. Okay. I'm gonna say add column on which one. So it should be customer ID. Database is Appian. If you select some, if you add few more, right, it will give you the option here as well. The Oracle and MySQL or server, whatever is there, right, it will come here. Now I say table. Which table? COP customer details table. This is the one, right? I'll select this one. It will automatically select the primary key of this particular table. Now, once we do that, click on the save. Go to the structure now. You see, customer ID has been added as a foreign key. It will be displayed here as well. Okay, understood? How do we create a foreign key? Okay, cool. So every table has a structure that, if you want to keep the data in a same structure from Appian to database, what is the format we need to follow? What do we create for that? I want to.
We need to create a CDT, right? On the not
Correct.
CDT.
So we need to create a custom data type CDT, right? So we see that one option yesterday to create a CDT, we need to there are multiple options, right? Let's say if I'm going to create on data type, there are 4 ways. One is a scratch that we see yesterday. We created some 3-4 fields. The second is that duplicate the existing data type. It means that whatever you have it already, you can simply select that particular one and create a replica of it. Now, third option, which you will be going to use most of the time, is called create from database table or view. Initially, this option was not there, and it was very tough to create because we have to generate an XST file. So now the third option is that import create from the database table or view. Once you select this option, it will say, okay, what is the data source? Now let's say, as I said, right now it is giving you only the in-house database, JDBC Appian. If you add Oracle or SQL Server, that will also be listed here. So we select this one. Once you select the data source, it will say that which table or view. So we can provide the name. Once you provide the name, it will be able to fetch all this table. So see, we haven't done any connection still, but we are able to get the name of the tables that we created just now from the database. Right. Once you select the customer details, it says continue. Right. Once you say continue, you see all the structure that we had in the table are coming up here now. So these are the column names from the database. These are the field name it is being to of your CDT and the type. So let's say I can also mention that try to use camel casing for all the field name of your custom data type or any of the variable. So as these are the kind of set of variables, right? We should be making as a camel casing. So I'll just say camel casing. This is fine. Okay. Now you see that it says data store, right? And then entity name. So right now we have not created any data store. I'll give you the example of the data store, what the data store is. I'm just going to uncheck this checkbox for now. It says that, put a description here. This CDT is being connected with this table name. See, you can also change the name of your CDT. However, it's always a good idea to keep the same name of your table so you can easily identify what CDT is belongs to which table, right? And if you put into the description as well, then you will understand that, okay, this is the CDT which is connected with the table and which table. This is called namespace. If you see for all the CDT, the namespace will be same till here. And then the other parts, that is COP, is going to be a prefix of your application, so that you can understand if there are any other CDT with the same name, you can differentiate with the namespace. Okay. However, the name is also there, COP. So this is how we are going to create this CDT. It is getting capture everything. Just one field is active. We have selected tiny integer in database. Here it is considering as a number integer. We can change it as a boolean in the next step. I'll say create. So you see that we do not have to type the names. We do not have to do all those things. It will create a CDT for us. Here you can change the name type as a boolean for this one. And click on save changes. So you see the CDT is get created, which is now internally connected with the table. How do we know that it is internally connected with the table? Every CDT, whatever is being created into the system, has one file called XST. So if we say download the XST, let me share my screen quickly back again. I hope you guys can see my screen. So this is the XST schema of your CDT. So if you see here, it has this schema part, and where it is mentioning that the table, the annotation, the XST annotation, if you see here, it is mentioned that at the rate of table, it means that this particular CDT is being connected with the table and the name of the table, which table it is being connected, right? If you see the documentation, the description that we have added, that is also being captured here in the XST file. So this is the XST information of your table. Now, if you see after that, a sequence will come here, and in the sequence, each element will be mentioned here. So each element represents the column of your table. Right? So here is the customer ID, the first name, the middle name, the last name. These are the attribute of your CDT. Internally, each column is also being represented by what properties, and which column it is also mentioned here. Each field here. Now you see this particular customer ID. It is saying that it is ID and it is generated value and it is the column. Column, it's clear. It says that which column it is being connected. It says the name is the customer ID and the label was the false, CDT is true, and column definition is int. Then what is the meaning of ID generated value? These are called this at the rate of table, at the rate of ID, at the rate of generated value, and at the rate of column. These are called JPA annotations, Java property annotations, I believe, right? So in interview also, people ask this question, like, what are the ways of creating a CDT? You can mention that there are 4 ways of creating the CDT. From the scratch, you can duplicate it from the database table or view, or from the XST file. So when you mention the XST file, they'll say that what are the JP annotations we have. So you can mention that there are at least, we have worked with the 4 JP annotations, added of table, ID, generated value, and column. There are more, but these are the very common that is being used all the time. So what is the meaning of each one of them? So at the rate of table means that this particular CDT is connected with which table. Okay. At the rate of ID means that this particular column is a primary key. Okay. At the rate of generated value is meaning that this particular column is a auto increment. And then at the rate of column means that which column it is being connected. So if you see here, this at the rate of ID and at the rate of generated value is only available in the first element, because this is the primary key and auto increment. Now others, first name, middle name, last name, we don't have those. We have only columns, because this particular column is being connected with this particular field is connected with which column it's mentioned here. It also gives you the size of the column that we have defined into the database. Right? So this is called an XST file. If you make any changes here, so you can also, if you can write the XST file, you can simply upload the XST file to create your CDT also. All right. So there are the 4 ways. So all these are the 4 ways to create a CDT. Any question in the CDTs? No. Okay. How many JP annotations we talk about? Anyone can give me one example and can tell any one of them? What are the JP annotations we have?
At the rate table, at the rate ID, at the rate generated value, and at the rate column.
And what is the meaning of at the rate of generated value?
That will be auto increment. It will generate auto incremented value.
It won't generate. It mentioned that the particular column is a auto increment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So now we have created our CDT is ready. So if you would like to capture the information of the customer, we will be able to do that. Now, before going to create the other CDT, let me explain you what is the data store is. So for that, we need to create a data store. So I'm going to create a new data store. I'll say COPDS. This data store is connected with in-house DB. Okay, you see the data source. Now here we have this drop down where we can see this in-house database Tomcat, Appian Tomcat, right? If you would have added the Oracle or MySQL server, that will also be listed here. So at a time, one data store can represent one data source. Okay, you cannot connect one data store with the multiple data sources. Okay, keep in mind this question. So this particular data store is going to be connected with this particular data source. I'll say create. It means that the data store that we are going to create, we are going to create a connection between this Appian designer to the Appian database. Why do we need this? We need this to perform read and write operation. Okay. Now, whatever object we will create apart from the CDT, whatever object you will create, those will require the security. And we have created two groups where it says the COP users and administrators. So administrator will have the admin access so that they can go modify, delete, update the rules, and COP viewers will have the viewer access. So they can access this particular object so that they can also need to work on the application side. So we're going to put the viewer role to them. I'll say save. Once we create a data store, here you see that a window will open here. We say that, okay, this is the data store that you have created, which is connected with this particular data source, right? So if you want to change from here, by mistake, if you have selected something else, you can change it here as well. So you can select your data source, whatever you want to connect. Now we have connected with this internal data source. Now it says that we need to add an entity. Each entity will represent a connection between the Appian CDT to the Appian particular table. Now I'll say add entity, right? It says name. What is the name of your entity? The name of entity, I'm going to put COP underscore customer details underscore entity. Okay, now it says type. Type means that you should have any CDT created for your table structure so that we can know which type we should be adding here. So we are going to add COP underscore customer details because we have created this CDT. So this CDT internally has the information of the table as well, right? Once we click on OK, save it. Now you see that this is the name of our entity that we have created, COP customer details entity. You can also give the same name of the CDT. That's okay, but just to make you sure, understand that this is an entity name and this is the CDT name. I've given the underscore entity here. Once we do that, we need to verify the connection. So scroll here, you see the option of verify. If you click on verify, it's a green. It says entity mapping verified successfully. It means that the attributes that we have, the fields that we have in our CDT is matching with the attribute that we have in the table. If there are any mismatch, let's say if you have added some more column to your CDT and that column is not available to your table, it will break. It will say column not found. Okay, let me do that. Let me share my screen. I'll show you. Let's say I'm gonna add one more column there. Let's say I'm gonna copy this one. So I have closed that. Give me a second. Huh? Okay, let's say I'm gonna add. This is the particular the XST file of our customer details. I'm gonna add one more column here, one more element basically. I'll just copy it from somewhere else and then paste it here. Okay. Now I'll click on save. I save this particular XST information. Now if I go to my Appian and I'm gonna upload, let me close this. Let me close this. I'm gonna add new version of utility from the new version from XST file because we have the information in the XST file. I'm gonna say upload. Oops. Something is wrong here. You see, it says that one data store will need to be updated if the data type is saved because something is missing. It says that a missing column status ID. As because we have added this CDT into the data store, it is not allowing us to add a verify because this is being not this particular column is missing from the table, right? So it gives you the information that if you are going to upload any CDT with some new details and that details is not available into the table, it will throw a message that it's not verified. Okay, you need to manually verify it or you have to add column. It will also gives you data, DDL file. For that, it says that what is the schema you need to add. Right? So if you click on this DDL script, it will give you that. Okay, got it. So we cannot. It should not have the column. It should have the basically the same fields that we have in our table and CDT. All right. So where are we? So our connection in the data store is made now. We are successfully able to connect this particular CDT with the entity that we have created from the table. Okay, got it? Any question here, guys?
Yeah, Ravi. We have CDT. Then again, why we created this data
CDT
source?
CDT is basically to capture your information and put it at one place. But you need something to perform read and write operation with the table. So
Okay.
then this entity will come into the picture. With the help of this entity only, we will be able to perform read and write operation. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So the number of columns present in the DB that should be exactly matched with the CDT, right?
Yes. Even the
Yeah.
spelling and then case.
Okay. So can we add any compound or any generated field over this particular suppose first name and last name if I want to just club for display purpose, so every
Yeah,
time
that
again
you
we
can
need to
do. I mean, you don't need to. You have the value already with you, right? So we have seen this concat function or the ampersand,
yeah
right?
yeah
So
yeah
by
yeah
using
yeah
it, you can do that.
but there could be the scenarios, right? We need back in Java, right? There is a one concept as transient variable. So from display from front end we can
Hmm.
add multiple additional fields, but that is
Mhm.
not present in a DB.
Hmm.
Okay, that means it will not be getting updated into DB, but we can use in the front end itself. So how whether we can achieve this particular in Appian?
So we have one more JP annotations called at the rate of transient, which will
Yeah,
allow you
okay.
to have a column without
Hmm.
into the database.
Okay, okay, no issues.
You just need to mention that at the rate of transient in that particular element so that it can understand, okay, we do not need to match this particular column in the database because it's a transient.
O- Okay, so that should be done at data source level or
And the
CDT level.
XST file, CDT level, XST file.
Okay, so that needs to be updated from the XSD file only. That is
Correct.
not from
Yeah.
that is not available
No,
from UI. Okay,
no, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Now let's say we have the other table address stated. So I'm gonna say new and data type. Third option, select the data source. I'm gonna select the table, COP address, continue. So this CDT is connected with table. Same thing, camel casing. Now here you see that it says that, okay, we found one data store for your application. So it's auto selected here. And then we can give that entity name. I'll say entity. So you can put it the same, that's fine. But just for understanding purpose, I'm going to say entity name. Okay. I'll say create. Now what will happen? Our data store So this is a city that gets created. If you go to the data store, one more entity is being added here. We do not have to add manually because while creating the city itself, we selected that tick box. So one more entity is being added. If you click on verify, it's successful. Now I'm going to change this from number integer to to boolean, and click on save changes. Now it will again try to check if this is valid or not, because we have selected tiny int, and tiny int is being supported by the boolean, right? So we can simply say, let me see one problem and re-verify it. If I say verify again, so it's successful. So we are able to connect our two of the table, created the TDT along with the entities, and the connection is also done. So now we will be able to perform the read and write operation successfully. Okay. So just to refresh our knowledge, how many ways we can create our CDTs?
4 ways.
Okay. I mean, what are those?
That is from scratch.
Mhm.
Duplicate of existing object. Third one
Okay.
is from table database level objects,
Mhm.
and fourth one is from XSD.
Okay. Now, who can answer for the XSD file? Anyone apart from I think Pramod, right? So,
Namdev.
what are the
Namdev.
information we can have in XSD file?
Metadata. Sorry. XSD file contains the metadata for that particular
Mhm.
columns, that their types and their length. Means
Okay.
all the information of for that particular individual column, as well as the table and primary keys information that is present in this XSD.
Okay. So, what are the JP annotations we have in XSD?
Which API notations at the table, at the generated value,
Mhm.
at the column, and at the rate at the rate ID. So there
What is
are
the
more.
meaning of each one? Yeah.
Yeah. ID represents that is this is the particular column is being treated as a ID or the primary key itself.
Mhm.
Generated value will represent that this is being auto generated. That particular value will be auto generated by the
Okay.
system only, and
Mhm.
at the red column that represent this is a column, and at the red table is represent this is a table one.
All right. So it represents basically which table and which column it has been connected.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. All right. Okay. So let's keep it till here, guys. Tomorrow will not tomorrow. No, it's Monday. Monday we'll start the interface designing to capture the information of this customer. So we'll create all those fields and we'll see how do we capture this information of the customer, and then slowly we can move to the writing this information to the database and all. Right. Okay. I will be sharing this account details to the WhatsApp group so you guys can practice. Um, yeah, yeah. Anything else? Any questions you guys have?
Yeah, Ravi. Ravi, I'm myself Rajinder. This is
Yeah,
my
Rajan.
first class.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so everything is new for me. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, the previous videos are being shared with me. They were like with the name Demo One, Demo Two, Demo Three. Are they the same?
Yeah, yeah. These are the same. And this is the fourth class only. Right now we are using this demo environment. For you know, and recording is available. So they are putting it as a demo one, demo two. But yeah, these are the so 2 days we had a demo. Basically we talk about the Appian and we talk about the Appian objects. And
Okay.
yesterday onwards, we started the actual development. So we talk about the local variables and the demo 3 class, and demo 4 today is we talk about the table creation and right. So those are the yes. If you go through that, you will be able to understand uh, what we discussed. So let me know
Okay.
if you have any questions. You can ping me.
Yeah.
We can discuss.
And just I wanted to know COP. You kept on COP. Is
Mhm.
that the customer name or it is
No,
the
no, it's
part
an
of the?
application. So this is our application name, customer onboarding process. This is the name of our application, and COP
Okay.
is a prefix of this one, COP. So whatever
Preface of it?
object we are creating, whatever object we are
Yeah.
creating, we are just putting a COP as a prefix.
You mean to say of any customer name, anything like that,
No,
right?
no, 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 not a customer name. The Appian
Okay.
object name.
Okay. So it is a mandate term which
No,
is
it's not a
used.
mandate term. It is just to understand. Let's say if you are going to create a customer details CDT, right? There could be any
Okay.
other applications as well which can have the customer details CDT. So it's quite possible that they may also give the name as customer details. Then
Okay.
how do we
So
understand
it's
which CDT is for our application?
okay. It's I mean naming in a unique way,
Naming
correct?
convention, yeah. Yes, correct.
Okay. So can we take any name, anything like that?
Yeah, you can
I
put
mean,
anything, but it always to best practice to take the first character of your application so you can understand COP of its customer onboarding process. You can put ABCD
okay.
as well, but that
So
should be available.
later can we change it? Later can we change it?
You can change the application abbreviation prefix, but objects you need to rename it for each object. It can't possible to change all the places at a one time.
Yeah, it will be a
So
rework. Okay.
right. So make sure while creating itself you are putting it such a way that you are not going to change it.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. So can we take like this of example any organization name or anything like that? Some so
Yeah,
and so
yeah, why
bank.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
definitely. I
Okay.
mean, if you are going to putting any bank name, let's say if you're putting HDFC, right? So you can put the object name as HDFC underscore get customer details or address, something like that.
Okay.
It depends on the your object name, right? Application name.
Okay.
Ravi, is there any limit on this prefix character? So whether this should be three
I
character, four
haven't seen such like that. I mean, user has used. I have seen up to five characters. I have seen that. I don't think so. There's a limit, but yeah, it always to have keep it short, right? Otherwise,
yeah.
your
The object
object names
name,
will be very
object
long.
name is, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah.
Later offline, I feel.
Okay.
I mean, in practicing, while we get any doubt, can we contact
Mhm.
you?
Yeah, sure. But see, the thing is that I'm also working, right? So whenever I get time, I'll reply back or I'll get a call. We'll get in a call and to discuss. But yeah, you can do that. Just ping me on WhatsApp. Whenever I get time, sometimes it's
Is there
possible
any
that I
group?
may.
Is there any group, Ravi?
Yeah, WhatsApp group is going to be created. So we will
Okay.
be sharing all those informations, recordings, videos,
Okay.
link,
It's
everything will
not
be on
yet,
that.
right? It's not yet.
It's
It is about to.
created.
Ah,
It's
okay.
get created. Yeah, I believe once you make the payment, then you will get added
Yeah,
to
all the
that.
registered people. Yeah, correct,
Yes,
correct.
correct.
Okay, okay. And Ravi,
Hmm.
as this is the fourth class, right?
This is a forecast.
Okay.
All right. Any other question, guys?
Yeah, hi, Ravi. This is Ranjit Ravi.
Hmm.
Even I joined today itself. Uh, can I know like a brief overview about this APN? Can we use for the DevOps tools? Um, like what are the main uses of this APN? Can I know about this one?
Yeah, I mean, we have discussed things in the first day and second day recordings, but yeah, let me explain you briefly here as well. So basically, this Appian tool creates an application for the in-house employees. Because it's costly. It's a licensing tool, and then it's take the license based on the number of users you have. So basically, if you are a bank employee or if you are a any pharma employee, you are the user who will be using this application. It cannot be for the end customers. Like let's say a bank has 5,000 customers, so we cannot create. I mean, we will be able to create an application for that, but the thing is that that will not be suitable because it will be very much costly. So basically, this Appian creates an application for the in-house employees. You know, Let's say if you are making some transfers, you are updating customer details, or you are doing any company's work and all, right? So that is for the in-house app users, not for the general public.
You
So
said
in
Okay.
this
Scott.
Appian,
Yeah.
sorry. So in this Appian, we can build an application also, right?
Yeah, we are building this application itself, right? So if you see this customer onboarding process that we discussed, this is going to be a customer onboarding application we are building in here.
Will there be any phases, Ravi? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like that?
What do you mean by phase one?
I mean, I mean to say, like, the pa. I mean, the application, in creating the application, there will be any divided into parts, like
No, I mean, see, we
No.
will be creating this application from that it should be working application from end to end, like, from starting from the customer visiting to the bank, and then or by making a call, right? We will be onboarding the customer. We will be creating an account for them, so that they can start transferring the amount, or as a normal process that we have. So end to end working application we will be have at the end of the trade.
so it's a web application, right?
Yeah, it's a web application.
Cloud, in cloud.
Yes. Yes.
And what if we get any outage or any, anytime the application is down, how
Mhm.
it will be managed?
So you have Appian support team, the Appian professional teams for that. They will be handling. There are two versions of Appian. One is the on cloud that we are using. Another is the on premise, where you should have one, a support team handling your environment. Now, if you are
Okay.
using on cloud, you need to raise a ticket with the Appian support team mentioning that my environment is down. Can you please look into this issue? They will be reverting back to you in some time. Otherwise, if there are some activities going on, something upgrade is going on, they basically used to let you notify that, okay, we are going to do this kind of upgrade. So it may be down for a couple of hours. But the Appian
Okay.
professional teams are the support members who will be helping you out. So for every company, they ask for you 3 to 4 point of contacts from your organization. They will be in touch with the Appian support team. They can raise a ticket. They can solve it out.
So there are CI/CD part in this Appian also, right?
Sorry, what do you mean by CIBC?
Or continuous integration and continuous deployment. Like if
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
come,
Correct. Yes, yes, exactly. Yes. So I mean, Appian gives you the DevOps feature, compare and deploy, where you can
okay,
deploy your packages, small patches to your high
what kind
environment.
of application? Like what kind of application we use? Like any Java. Uh,
No,
what
no,
kind of
Appian
application it
built in
support
Java.
basically?
Appian application is built in Java, but it's a BPM tool, right? Basically, it's a uh, workflow process that we are using in Appian. As I said, right, customer onboarding process, inventory system, or anything that may require approval and workflow in the backend, we use this Appian
So
business system.
mainly Appian is used for database, correct?
No, no, it's not like the Appian is used for database. Database is for database. We have ETL jobs done to be there, right? It is basically, let's say, we are onboarding any customer that require an approval from a higher management. They will check everything. They will review the details. They say if it looks fine, all the documents are in place, then they can either move to the next level of approval, or if they are at the high level, they can approve it, reject it. It's on their decision. So basically, it's a workflow and decision taken by the users if you want to have this or not. Let's say, for example, if you are saying that for pharma company, if you want to have launch your any new product to the country, so you can create a flow for that. If you are doing any study of your any medicines, you can create a workflow for that, right? So yeah, basically, like say for example, if you are placing any online order, and in the back end, how your online order is going to be placed, like order will be taken, then receipt will be generated, and then order will be placed. All those things that requires a workflow, a particular set of tasks, you can use this Appian BPM. The name suggests, right? Business process management.
So, as sorry guys, I
Mhm.
just want to know the complete workflow. Like it's kind of similar to Azure DevOps also. I just saw in the This is like
Hmm.
a new tool I'm listening, so I just want to know everything.
Yeah, it's
So
you
is it
know
okay?
about the IBM, BPM, and Pega, all these things, right? These are the BPM tool, right? So one of them is the Appian, which is recently is in higher in
Recently
demand in the
came into the
market.
market,
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean
yeah.
recently
so
it's been
Ravi,
like 15 years. Yeah,
But
yeah,
like it is useful. It similarly acts like Azure DevOps also, correct?
yeah, you can say that.
So in this, like, can we maintain is there any Jira board? Everything is also in Appian.
No, no, no. Jira would be a separate tool. I mean that we use for our stories and all, but it's not a part of Appian. Appian gives you the development environment, the end users working environment, database, admins, administrator settings, all these things is there, right? Logs and all, but not the as Jira and all.
So if my company is developing some application, okay,
Mm-hmm.
in Java, can we configure that application? We need to create some pipelines from like continuous integration to complete deployments. Can we do that, and can we integrate this cloud also in
Yeah,
this
see,
APN
if you
using this
want to
APN?
have, let's say, for example, for front end, you are using Java, and for backend process, like database flow or any other task generation, anything, right? So you can use an Appian as a backend process where you can retrieve the information, you can pass the information, and you can write to the database, generate any report if you want, download the files and everything, right? So you can use the Appian as a backend as well. Many companies does that. For front end they use Java because Java is more Ajax. You can use Ajax features there. You can use the CSS on the UI front side, right? But Appian, it's a limited UI. I mean, whatever it has been given, it's rich environment, but it's still not as compared to CSS and Ajax, right? So many people use Java front end, and then back end they use Appian as a backend process.
and
Backend means like they're just used for the
Now let's say example
flow.
for you want to raise a claim, right? Let's say for example you are raising a claim, and for raising a claim the interface that you have used is a Java application, right? So that can be accessed by any user, right? That can be your customer who has bought your claim, right? Claim.
Okay.
So they will raise a claim from their end, and at the end when they hit submit, it will trigger a Appian process in the backend by the help of API. It will bring all those information, and based on this Appian process, they will write the data to the database, and it will generate the claim ID, and it will send back to the your Java front end, so that the user can know, okay, this is my claim number has been generated. So for front end, they use Java, CSS, or whatever Ajax, and then in the back end, they use with the help of API, they use Appian process to be triggered.
Okay.
Ravi, the
So
person who is working on Appian,
Mm-hmm.
how he will be I mean designated? He will be a Appian developer or administrator?
Well, that's depends on your company rules. Like if you have company consultant, senior consultant, lead consultant, like that.
I mean
Uh,
generally, how they will be called can be called or
Appian developer.
designated. Okay, Appian developer. Okay,
So in this APN, there are multiple things, right? Like as Rajendra mentioned, there are APN developer, APN admin, and there is another thing.
Architect.
So architect also. So we just want to know what are the users of this APN developer and admin. Admin, as we already aware, we just for giving permissions and configuring
Yeah.
things. All that is fine, but uh, this APN developer, right? I want to know how this APN developer works.
So Appian developer activity is like you will be getting the requirement through the Jira board or the Total Foundation server. So you will be getting the requirement. You will start working on your application. You will be developing everything, and then you will need to do the demo to the client. Whatever you have done, if any defects, you need to fix it, and then and you need to deploy the codes to the higher environment.
No, so deploying the code in higher environments, right? So, like this is also a cloud platform, as you mentioned. Can we,
Mhm.
there are the servers like which can we create the servers in SAPN, or we need to get back from the cloud?
No, you can do it from the cloud server. It has the compare and deploy options from where you can directly select your patches and packages to be deployed to the high environment. You just need to
No,
connect
we need
your
to select. See, we want to I want to deploy one package. Okay, so we need to give
correct.
one server name. So like normally
Exactly. That's what I am
Facebook.com
coming
or
from.
anything, right?
So in the admin console, you will have an option to add your servers, like your higher environment server. Let's say you are working on dev environment, you
Mhm.
will be able to connect your servers like
No,
your
my question is like selecting is okay. My question is like, can we like from where we are getting? We are configuring from the cloud AWS or like on
no in
premises
the Appian
servers only.
console admin console in the Appian admin console. If you go to the deployment DevOps option, the deployment here, you can create multiple environment. You can add it as this had been disabled in the practice environment. You're not able to do that, but yeah, here you will get an option for adding the
But
multiple servers that you have.
I think servers will not be involved in Appian. Appian is
Yeah.
Appian. That's it.
The Appian
Need to
it
use
has its own server.
Appian
Appian has
itself.
own server.
Yeah.
So we
Completely
cannot
different
integrate
technology.
anything with the cloud then.
No.
So my question is like we can do CI/CD in this APN, correct? So
Yes.
CI/CD means nothing but CD means like we are deploying our application in one of the server. So my question is,
Mhm.
when we are deploying in one server, right, in any particular server. So for that server, how we are integrating in this APN?
So that's again is going to be the Appian server itself. Let's say for this one, right? This is one Appian server that we are using here. This is this URL particular. It is being hosted in one server. Same way, your higher environment is hosted in some other server. You can simply configure your other Appian environment to here. Once you do that, under the compare and deploy option, you will be able to see what are the environment you have added, and you can simply select that option and then deploy your code to that environment.
So
So
just
here,
now
yes,
you
yeah,
uh,
yeah, Ranjit. Sorry to interrupt. So
okay.
here we need to use only Appian context and
Mm.
develop our application and move with Appian only.
Yes.
Okay, there is
If you
inbuilt
want
APN server you're talking about. There is inbuilt APN development, server testing and production, everything you're
yes,
talking about,
yes,
correct?
yes.
But normally normally in any organization, like they will use complete cloud servers or on premises, right? So that we cannot integrate with this APN.
Now you can. So what you need to do is that you need to download your packages and upload to that server to make a deployment, right? So that your RPA process or robotic process can fetch that package from there, and it can be uploaded to the high environment. And I mean, I haven't done that, but yeah, that's also possible. You need to download the package and keep it.
Ravi, sorry to
Mhm.
ask this, whether to ask or not, I am not sure.
Mhm.
Are you L2 or L3?
No, I'm L3.
That L3, okay.
Yeah.
So okay, we cannot. We can create CI/CD, I guess, but maybe we can integrate the cloud servers into APN also. Because like see, I'm working in Citibank right now,
Mhm.
so we are we are using all on-premises cloud, on-premises data centers, and we
Mhm.
have cloud servers also. So for this, like we need to integrate, like we are doing any CI/CD, we have our servers, like we have our own servers, right?
Mhm.
So we need to integrate into this APN. So how we need to integrate in this APN? That is my question. So the APN is a separate, like what you said is APN has a separate servers, like
Mhm.
development, testing, and production as all three
Mhm.
servers only with the APN. But I
Mhm.
think that won't work with the financial companies, right? They will have their own premises on premises servers, or they'll get it from the cloud. So that we need to integrate, like continuous deployment means like we are deploying our package into one production server. So that's how
Mhm.
it will implement, right? So how I need to integrate that production server to the APN.
So basically, for doing that deployment, you are generating the packages, right? So you're uploading your packages for some in some common folder, and you're keeping that package in that folder, right? So that whenever the process will start running, your server will fetch that package from there, and it can upload to the high environment, right? That's a separate process you follow, right?
Can can you show me like how we need to create the CI/CD pipeline here?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Kavi.
Okay.
Can you send me the course structure, like what we are covering in this course?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
what kind?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's yeah. I think it will be. It has already shared, but I'll ask them to share it again. I have also mentioned in the first class itself, right? So what we are going to cover in this training is that what is the basic thing is required for your Appian development process. We are not going to touch the artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, because those are separate entities. We are not touch that. So whatever is required for your basic Appian development, we are covering that.
So can we develop any application end to end using this Appian?
Yeah, we can. That's what we are doing it here for the customer onboarding process.
So developing means like in which language we are developing the application?
So
Like
Appian has
this is
its
low code,
own.
low code environment, right? Appian. So
Yes.
there will be something like we may use Python, we may use Java, right? Which
No,
kind
no,
of
no, no. Appian
language we
has
are
its
using here?
own coding standard that is called SAIL,
Okay.
self-assemble interface language. We are using that. It's very much common as Java because the Appian tool is being built on Java, but we are not using Java.
Okay. So we don't need any
No,
Java experience or anything.
no, nothing, not required.
How do you spell it, Ravi? Sale?
SAIL, SAIL,
SAIL. Okay.
self-assemble. Yeah. So it has its
So
own
like
architecture.
we can develop the user interface also if it's using this
Yes,
API.
everything. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. So next class we are going to
Then
develop the user interface to capture the customer information. We are going to take it from the users and users. If you
okay,
go one of the recordings,
then we can, I guess then we can integrate cloud
see,
servers into this API also.
I mean, see, I might be not able to get your question, but what you are trying to integrate here. But yes, integration is possible in Appian. Let's say if you want to pass your any of the file from one environment to other environment by using this API calls or integration call, you can do that.
Yeah, Ranjit, just I wanted to answer your question. I don't think so. It is possible what you're
No,
asking.
integration is
Mm,
possible, Namdev. We are see once you create able to create an UI, you have the upload options of the packages or the files. Once you upload it, you can send that documents by using any of the API service call, right? Let's say for his server, he's saying that he might have created any API where we can use that API and we can send that information or the file from one environment to other environment from outside of the Appian also. You can also integrate the documents from your third party to Appian with the help of integration object. So integration is
yeah.
possible in Appian. Yeah.
Yeah, integration is possible in this one because like they are doing complete CI/CD in this APN also.
Yeah.
So you're going to cover this integration for this
Integration and
in coming
API
sessions
we'll
now?
be covering. Yes, integration and API. We'll see that how do we create an integration object or to pull the information from third party to in Appian, and also we will be creating an API so that we can see how to expose your Appian data to third party.
Okay, yeah.
All right. All right, guys. It's 6 overdue. Let's connect to Monday, and we will start the UI designing, and we'll see how
So
to capture the
Akshay,
information. Yeah.
last question. Like I'm contacting one person. Like I have one phone number, double two
Uh-huh.
double nine. Is that your number?
No, that's not my number. You might be contacting the management who is giving you this
Yeah, yeah.
access.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Let's connect
Okay,
on Monday.
thanks, Ravi. Bye.
Thank you.